Why do we let negative thoughts rule us? Have you ever caught yourself spiraling into a storm of negative thoughts for no clear reason? Have you ever wondered why your mind automatically assumes the worst? And more importantly, do you want to finally break free from this cycle? Before we dive in, if you're on a journey of self-improvement and mental mastery, make sure to subscribe. This is where we transform old mindsets and reclaim control. Now let's face a hard truth. Negativity is automatic. It's not your fault. It's how the human brain evolved, to spot danger, to expect trouble, to prepare for the worst. Our ancestors survived by being cautious, but you're not being chased by lions anymore. You're being chased by doubt, fear, comparison, and insecurity. And if you don't take control, those mental predators will feast on your potential. You can't fight what you can't see. That's why the first step toward change is awareness. Awareness of how your thoughts arise, how they pull you into a loop, and how they lie to you. And once you become aware, something powerful happens. You gain a choice. Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius taught that we are not our thoughts. We are the observers of our thoughts. This simple shift changes everything. If you can observe a thought, you can question it. If you can question it, you can weaken it. That's the beginning of freedom. 1. The discipline to challenge your own mind. Think of your mind as a battlefield, not metaphorically, literally. Every day, internal skirmishes erupt between reason and impulse, clarity and confusion, hope and despair. And like any battlefield, success isn't determined by mere luck or good intentions. It's determined by strategy, preparation, and above all, discipline. Discipline is the bridge between where you are now and the mental clarity you're capable of. To a Stoic, it is not just about external restraint. It is about mastering the inner arena of thought. Consider Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher. He wasn't removed from the chaos of the world. He ruled during wars, pandemics, betrayals, and personal loss. Yet he wrote with unwavering calm. His meditations were not indulgent reflections. They were training exercises, reminders to keep his mind sharp and grounded amid turmoil. When Marcus wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength," he was speaking about that inner battleground. He knew that emotional chaos didn't begin outside. It began with unexamined thoughts inside. And so he trained his mind, not once, but continuously. So how do we begin to practice this ourselves? First, understand that emotional control doesn't mean bottling things up or pretending you don't feel anything. That's not Stoicism, that's repression. Stoicism teaches emotional clarity. It means inserting a space between stimulus and response. Someone insults you. You don't react instinctively. You pause. You breathe. You ask yourself, what part of me feels threatened by this? Why? You don't lash out, not because you're weak, but because you're powerful enough to choose your response. This habit of pausing is not natural at first. It requires daily effort. You'll slip. That's okay. Discipline is a process, not a finish line. Each time you catch yourself reacting instead of responding, that's a small victory. Over time, those small victories compound. Another essential aspect is learning to challenge your automatic thoughts. We all carry mental scripts. I'm not good enough. This always happens to me. I can't change. These scripts are often inherited, fed to us by others, reinforced by past experiences. But just because a thought appears doesn't make it true. You must interrogate it. Ask, is this useful? Is this helping me grow or keeping me stuck? The Stoics called this practice judgment. To them, events were neutral. They just happened. The only thing that made them good or bad was the judgment you placed on them. And if your judgment is flawed, distorted by ego, fear, or old narratives, your emotions will follow. So challenge your mind. Practice emotional austerity, not by becoming cold or robotic, but by becoming intentional. Don't let every small trigger jerk your strings. Your energy is too valuable to be wasted on petty distractions. Build this discipline every day. Start small. Reflect each night. Where did I react today? Where could I have responded better? Journal your thoughts, not to dwell, but to gain clarity. Meditation, reading, deliberate pauses, these are your tools. Use them. In a world that rewards reaction, be someone who responds. In a time where emotional outbursts are normalized, be the one who has mastered stillness. The battlefield is your mind, and you're not just a soldier, you're the general. 2. Turn negativity into a tool for growth. What if every negative emotion, every setback, every difficult encounter wasn't your enemy, but your teacher? Negativity often feels like something to avoid, like a detour from the path of growth. But the Stoics saw it differently. To them, resistance, mental, emotional, or physical, was a mirror. It revealed where you still had work to do. The discomfort was not a barrier, it was the way forward. The key lies in reframing. Most people experience frustration or sadness and instantly label it as bad. But ask yourself, why is this bothering me? Perhaps anger is showing you what you truly value: justice, respect, loyalty. Fear may be shining a light on areas where you feel exposed, where your confidence is brittle. Doubt, though uncomfortable, might be your subconscious nudging you to reevaluate a blind spot. This isn't about pretending everything is good, it's about mining meaning from difficulty. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." That's not just poetic, it's a radical mindset shift. It means that resistance is not just to be endured, it is to be embraced. When something makes you uncomfortable, lean in, not recklessly, but curiously. The next time you face a negative emotion, ask yourself, is this feeling trying to teach me something? Then take it further. Is this belief I'm having right now true? Or is it just a story I've told myself too many times? Negative emotions are often based on assumptions. The more you interrogate them, the more power you reclaim. Let's say you face criticism. Your first reaction might be defensiveness, but pause. Ask, is this feedback useful? Even if it wasn't delivered kindly, is there truth in it? Sometimes, your greatest growth comes from your harshest critics. To use negativity as a tool, you need humility. You must be willing to see yourself not just as you wish to be, but as you truly are. And that's difficult. It requires courage, but it's also empowering. Because once you begin using negativity as a mirror, nothing is wasted. Every hardship becomes fuel. This doesn't mean you romanticize suffering. Pain is real and some wounds cut deep. But even then, the Stoic asks, what now? How can I grow stronger from this? That shift, from victim to student, is everything. Build the habit of reflection. When something goes wrong, journal your reaction. What emotions came up? What story did you tell yourself? Could another interpretation be more helpful? Train your mind to stop asking, why me? And start asking, what is this here to teach me? Every challenge is a forge, every failure a classroom, and every moment of pain is also a moment of potential, if you choose to see it that way. 3. The inner critic isn't always right. There's a voice in your head, you know the one. It whispers harsh judgments, drags up past failures, and compares you to others constantly. It doesn't encourage, it undermines, it doesn't question, it accuses. And worst of all, it often sounds like the truth, but here's what you need to understand. The inner critic is not always right. In fact, it's often wrong. It mimics the voices of people who hurt you, who doubted you, who made you feel small. Over time, you began to internalize those judgments. But just because they took root in your mind doesn't mean they belong there. The Stoics believed that judgment is the root of suffering. Not external events, not fate, not hardship, but our interpretations. It's not things that upset us, Epictetus said, but our judgments about things. And that includes how we judge ourselves. The inner critic thrives in silence. It speaks in unchallenged assumptions. I'm not good enough. Everyone else has it figured out. I'll never change. These aren't facts, they're beliefs, and beliefs can be questioned. So start asking, where did this voice come from? Maybe it's the echo of a parent who was impossible to please, a teacher who humiliated you, a boss who never saw your value. Ask yourself, do they deserve to live rent-free in my head? The first step to silencing the inner critic is recognizing that you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. And that means you can choose which ones to keep and which ones to challenge. Don't confuse the inner critic with humility. True humility is grounded. It acknowledges flaws but doesn't weaponize them. The inner critic distorts flaws into fatal flaws. It exaggerates. It catastrophizes. You must learn to speak back. When the voice says, "You always fail," respond with, "That's not true. I've failed before, but I've also succeeded, and I'm learning." When it says, "You're not enough," say, "Enough for what? According to whose standards?" This is not empty self-help talk. This is cognitive discipline. You're training your brain to question narratives that don't serve you. The Stoics believed that we should guard our minds as carefully as our homes. You wouldn't let a stranger walk into your house and insult you. So why allow those thoughts to do the same inside your mind? Rewriting your internal dialogue doesn't mean denying reality. It means taking back authorship. You are the author, not the echo of your story. You decide what defines you. Every time you interrupt the inner critic, you weaken its hold. Every time you replace judgment with curiosity, you create space for growth. This is how you build inner freedom, not by eliminating all negative thoughts, but by learning to rise above them. To stand in your truth. To know that your worth is not dictated by a critical voice, but by the actions you take every day. Let that be your discipline, to question the critic, to rewrite the script, and to live from a place of self-respect, not self-doubt. 4. Inner stillness, the highest power. In a world that rarely pauses, where notifications buzz constantly and every spare moment is filled with scrolling, clicking, or reacting, the concept of inner stillness can seem like an ancient relic. But for those who walk the Stoic path, or simply seek peace amid the storm, inner stillness is not only relevant, it's essential. It is not a luxury, but a necessity in our age of endless noise. Stillness, in the Stoic sense, is not about avoiding the world. It's not about going to a mountain cabin to escape responsibilities. It's not passivity. Stillness is power, controlled, focused, and calm. It's the ability to maintain composure and clarity in the midst of chaos. It's what Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, practiced daily as he dealt with plagues, wars, and betrayal. Despite the demands of leading an empire, he wrote pages upon pages reflecting on patience, duty, and the importance of quieting the mind. Why? Because he knew that without inner stillness, external power is fragile. Stillness is the space between stimulus and response. It's what gives you the ability to observe a rude comment and choose patience instead of anger. It's what allows you to face uncertainty and move forward without panic. In every difficult moment, there's a gap, a choice point, and the wider that gap becomes, the more freedom and strength you gain. Without stillness, you are at the mercy of your emotions, impulses, and fears. But how do you cultivate such a rare quality in a world built to distract you? Like anything powerful, stillness is built, not inherited. It's trained, refined, and maintained through daily practice. Just as a strong body is forged through repeated physical effort, a still mind is developed through repeated mental effort. There are no shortcuts, but there are tools. First, practice daily reflection. Carve out time, even 5 or 10 minutes, to sit with your thoughts. Not to judge them, not to fix them, but simply to observe. Journaling is a powerful method for this. By putting your thoughts on paper, you create distance between yourself and your mental noise. As Marcus Aurelius did, write not to impress, but to understand. Ask yourself, what disturbed me today? How did I respond? What would a wiser response have looked like? Second, embrace mindful breathing. Breathing is the anchor of the present moment. When your thoughts race or emotions overwhelm, pause and return to your breath. Slowly inhale, hold, exhale. This isn't a cliché, it's biology. Breathing deeply calms the nervous system and clears mental fog. It creates the space you need to choose a better reaction. Third, choose silence over reaction. You don't have to respond to every comment. You don't need to win every argument. The ego thrives on noise. Wisdom thrives on silence. The Stoics valued restraint, not because they lacked passion, but because they had mastered it. When someone wrongs you, you can walk away. When life disappoints you, you can stand firm. Silence is not weakness. It's discipline. Fourth, observe rather than judge. Stillness is incompatible with constant mental commentary. Instead of labeling people and events as good or bad, observe them as they are. The Stoics taught that we don't control what happens, only how we interpret and respond to it. When you drop the labels, you drop the emotional baggage. Observation without judgment brings peace. Finally, return to the practice over and over again. You won't be perfectly still every day. Some days emotions will win. Some days the noise will drown you. That's okay. Stillness is not perfection. It's persistence. Each time you return to the breath, the journal, the silence, you train the muscle a little more. In stillness, there is tremendous strength. It doesn't mean you're cold or detached. It means you're stable. Calm doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care deeply, just not chaotically. Stillness is the bedrock upon which clear thinking, wise action, and real resilience are built. In a noisy world, inner stillness is rebellion. In a chaotic world, it's your compass. In a reactive world, it's your greatest power. So make it your practice. Protect your stillness. Build it with intention. Because when the world shakes, and it will, the one who stands still is the one who stands strong. 5. Build a mind that serves you, not sabotages you. Your mind is the lens through which you experience life. If the lens is cracked, distorted, or clouded with fear, no matter how beautiful the world outside may be, you will never see it clearly. The Stoics knew this. They understood that your experience of life is shaped not by events, but by your thoughts about those events. That's why Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. The truth is both liberating and sobering. Your mind is either your ally or your enemy. It either empowers you or undermines you. And here's the part that many people miss. You are not a prisoner of your mind. You are its architect. You get to choose, moment by moment, what kind of mind you are building. It begins with awareness. Most people move through life on autopilot, unaware of the mental loops that drive their behavior. They internalize criticism, absorb negativity, and repeat stories that no longer serve them. If you want to take control of your mind, you must start by observing it. What thoughts dominate your day? Are they thoughts of fear, doubt, envy, or regret? Or are they thoughts of gratitude, clarity, and purpose? This isn't about pretending everything is okay. It's about choosing your focus. Your mind is shaped by what you feed it. If you constantly consume gossip, outrage, or despair, your internal world will reflect that. But if you consume wisdom, truth, and reflection, you build a different inner landscape, one that is resilient and grounded. The Stoic approach to building the mind was both rigorous and compassionate. Marcus Aurelius didn't journal because he was already wise. He did it to become wise. He wrestled with his thoughts daily. He questioned his impulses. He reminded himself that everything external is fleeting and that virtue is the only lasting good. This practice of reflection and repetition strengthened his mental fortitude. So how can you follow this path? Begin with your habits. Habits are the scaffolding of your mental architecture. Choose habits that sharpen your awareness and nourish your perspective. Read books that challenge your assumptions. Engage in conversations that stretch your thinking. Avoid those who constantly complain or gossip. They are shaping your mind too, whether you notice it or not. Speak to yourself with the same encouragement and clarity you would offer a friend in crisis. Too often, we are our own harshest critics. The inner dialogue of self-doubt, shame, and comparison is toxic, and it's also optional. You can't always silence those voices immediately, but you can challenge them. You can say, "This thought isn't helping me. What would a more useful thought be right now?" Discipline is another key. You won't always feel like training your mind. Some days, you'll want to scroll endlessly, avoid reflection, or drown out discomfort. But discipline means doing what strengthens you, even when it's uncomfortable. And the reward is profound. A mind that doesn't panic in crisis, that doesn't crumble under pressure, and that knows how to return to clarity, even in confusion. Ask yourself regularly, what kind of mind am I building today? Is it one that strengthens me or weakens me? Is it one that serves my values or betrays them? The Stoics didn't promise a life without pain. They promised that you could become strong enough to meet pain with dignity, that strength begins in the mind. A disciplined, self-aware mind is the foundation of inner peace. And the best part, you don't need perfect circumstances. You don't need everything to go right. You just need to begin. Start today. Notice your thoughts. Question them. Reframe them. Feed your mind with what is true and helpful. Let your actions reflect the mind you are building, and return to the practice every day. Because ultimately, the mind you build is the life you live. Make it one that lifts you, not one that limits you. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to silence every negative thought forever. But if you choose to observe, question, and reframe them, you're already becoming the master of your mind. So ask yourself right now, who do I want to be when the storm comes? The person who reacts, or the one who responds? If this resonated with you, hit subscribe. You're not just watching a video, you're training for a better life. One thought at a time.